Hi there. Please be sure to turn off your cameras and microphones. We will get started in just a minute as we wait for everyone else to join us in our Teams meeting. And if you have any questions, you will be able to enter them into the chat bar. So you may want to click on that chat bar icon right now so you're all set to go. My name is Kim Newton, and I am a Senior Director with Curriculum Instruction and Professional Development. And I will be narrating this PowerPoint today that was designed for our TK through 12th grade teachers and administrators to support you in the best practices for distance learning. In this webinar, we will highlight best practices for distance learning as it relates to establishing behaviors, expected behaviors for our students, and supporting them socially and emotionally. Many of you might be asking, what is the structure of district learning, and does it look the same as my classroom? Well, it doesn't. And what does instructional pedagogy look like? And what tech tools should I be using? There's so many webinars out there, and I just feel like I don't know which one to choose. So we're going to get started with the big ideas of district learning. And first of all, good instruction is good instruction. We need to continue to focus on learning and pedagogy and not put all of our focus on the technology. What you think about is what you learn. If students and teachers are successful early on, they will be more motivated to continue learning distantly. And that's why we urge you all to keep things very simple. And thinking about success equals achievement, which increases motivation to continue to learn. Some components of distance learning. Well, beginning each day or week by greeting your students, letting them know that this is the new normal and it's hard for all of us, teachers included. Make sure students know that you're learning right alongside them. And most of all, we want to keep our lessons and assignments consistent, predictable, simple, and routine. And we need to be sure that our students and our parents, in some cases, know where to go if they need help. And at the bottom of this slide, you will see a link to an Edutopia article. And this article really highlights 7 ways we can maintain those student-teacher relationships, which are just essential to the student's social and emotional growth. So in order to maintain those relationships during distance learning, we want to make sure our students know that we are thinking about them, we care about them, and we miss them. Because maintaining the student-teacher relationship is so important to their well-being. We can do this through a variety of avenues. Many sites have been posting on social media how much they miss their students, and those have been so wonderful to see. Another option is through a morning message. We can create screen recordings and post it on Schoology or YouTube to greet our students. And this sends them a message that we really care about them. It also gives us a forum to set the stage for the day's learning and an opportunity to explain where students or parents can go if they need help. Either they don't understand the content or the technology is not working. Some other tools are Class Dojo, Schoology conferences, or Google surveys really work well for some of our secondary students. And in this slide, you see a sample Google survey that informs a teacher how the students are handling distance learning, if they need some help, and who might need to reach out to them to assist them. Also on this slide is another YouTube link of a fabulous 3rd grade teacher at Everett Elementary School who sent her students a morning message during the week of April 6th, just to kind of get them started using the technology. It doesn't matter how you communicate, just do it often. As with all change, communication is essential. Communication can be done through emails, phone calls, class dojo, and Schoology conferences. They give us as teachers an opportunity to set and maintain some expectations for learning to continue. They give us a forum to explain the purpose of the work, an opportunity to talk with our parents and let them know what the expectations are for parent involvement with some of our younger students. It also lets students know how they should receive feedback, and most importantly, again, where they can go if they need help. Just like you would the first couple weeks of school, we need to establish some behaviors for distance learning. Students should really follow a schedule, the idea that they should sit at a comfortable and quiet place, most importantly, that they come with their computer charged or at least plugged in. It's a great opportunity to remind students no drinks or food near their computer, and that the computer is a tool for learning, not a toy for younger brothers or sisters to play with. And CIPD has created some instructional schedules by grade span. We have a TK2 schedule, we have a 3-6 schedule, and we have a 7-8 set schedule. And these are just suggested learning schedules to support parents in establishing some routines at home during distance learning. Now we've talked about a lot, so I want to pause for a few minutes. So we're going to pause the webinar, and then while we're paused, I want you to jot down a strategy of something that you've heard so far regarding establishing behavioral expectations or supporting students socially, emotionally, and jot that strategy in the chat bar. Also, this is an opportunity if you have any questions or need clarification on anything we've covered so far, jot that in the chat bar as well. All right, so April 13th, Modesto City School begins our next phase of distance learning, and this is where students will begin new learning. There are 3 approaches to distance learning. We can provide opportunities for independent practice, where our students, this is really designed to help students review and maintain previous learning. And some of the curricular applications for that are Connect Ed, Study Sync, Zern, Impact, and Vision. Mostly are curricular applications. Then we have recorded remote lessons. And as teachers, we can record a lesson to provide some systematic modeling or instruction to support and promote that new learning. And our tech tools for this are screencasts, Flipgrid, Nearpod, or YouTube. In our TK2 Schoology folder, our coaches have actually created screencasts to assist our students in acquiring those critical and essential foundational skills for reading, such as phonemic awareness, blending, and some of our fluency routines. We also have live remote lessons. And this is an opportunity for teachers to provide that systematic and intentional instruction to promote new learning through some modeling or some explicit instruction. And this can be done through Schoology conferences. Remember, one of our first slides said good instruction is good instruction. However, there are some things that are rather specific to distance learning. And the first one being, we need to avoid cognitive overload now more than ever. So teacher clarity is just essential. We want to focus only on those essential standards. We need to be consistent with our lesson design and delivery system. So we really, as teachers ourselves, and I know myself as a senior director, I have definitely experienced cognitive overload in the last few weeks. So we are really recommending, if remote learning or the technology form is a little bit, you're not as familiar with it, just select 1 or 2 means for your students to receive and interact with the content for a while. There's no need to do it all. This is one of those cases where less is more. And most of all, we just really need to keep things simple. So what is that pedagogy of distance learning? Well, when you're providing a recorded or live instruction, you would follow your usual lesson design. You would gather the student's attention, maybe preview some previously learned content. You would state your learning objective. You would move forth with an I do model lesson or demonstration, and then bring students into some guided practice where they might have opportunity to process some of that new learning. You would definitely want to check for understanding before assigning any independent work to the students. The purpose of independent work is really to support students in remembering the essential content. So some things to think about and keep in mind are that will the independent practice help students gain proficiency on a skill? Will the independent practice help protect against forgetting? And will it support students in building that automaticity? Keep in mind, some older students may be helping younger siblings before assigning too much independent practice. So we definitely want to make sure we're focused on that critical content. When assigning independent practice, make sure it focuses on that critical content. And to support teachers in the Schoology distance learning resource folder, the coaches have identified some critical content by grade level and by subject matter. We also want to be sure that we give students very clear directions on how to complete that independent practice. We probably want to provide an exemplar so they know what a completed work product looks like. And it's really important, again, that we use repeated formats of how students interact with the content. So again, less is more initially until they learn the forum and we've learned the forum. We want to just, again, select one or two means for students to be receiving and interacting with that content. In order to support and motivate our students, we need to be sure we give them feedback on their work to keep them moving forward. Remember, the purpose of feedback is to move a student from where they are in their learning to where we want them to be. And again, we want to be sure students know where to go for help. So we have a couple technology forums for us to provide that feedback to our students, whether we're commenting on a completed assignment or commenting on a computer-generated data. Students could record messages and send it to their teachers. Teachers can send students messages through Class Dojo. And then during a class meeting, a teacher could highlight exemplars through your morning message. And some of the tools we have for that are Schoology. If we were commenting on completed assignments, we would do that through Schoology. If we were recording messages to students, we would do that through Flipgrid, YouTube, or sometimes Class Dojo. And then if we wanted to speak with all of our students, we could do that through screencasts and post it on YouTube or Schoology, or we could do it through Schoology conferences. And I just want to share a story of, actually I was talking with a girlfriend of mine last Friday, and her son Austin is a 7th grader, and it's been a struggle for her to get him to do the work through distance learning. And she said, her and her husband really had to kind of play the heavy in that, no, you will do this, stop procrastinating, take some other things away. And so he reluctantly pushed forward. And then on Monday morning, his teacher highlighted the phenomenal work that Austin had done and kind of commented that he had completed more of the assignments than many of the others in the class. And that really motivated Austin to continue his learning for the rest of the week without the fight with his parents. So just kind of keeping in mind that if we are setting and establishing these expectations for distance learning, that learning continues, that we need to be reinforcing it. And so reinforcing it by providing that feedback to students is an excellent opportunity for us all. And then again, teachers, I can't say it enough, but keep it simple for yourselves. Don't try to do all 4 of these at one time. Pick one tool and become proficient, and let that be your conduit for providing feedback. Give yourself time to learn and become really proficient with one while supporting your students in learning remotely. So we're going to pause again and power up. And now that we've discussed some of the best practices for distance learning, I want you to have some time to reflect on those. And again, jot in the chat bar maybe one area that you want to work on and commit to working on this week. And if you have any questions about what we've covered so far for distance learning, jot that in the chat bar as well. So we just kind of want to review before we finish up today some of the tools of distance learning, the do's and the don'ts. And on the do's, we definitely want to use the online district adopted curriculum and ed tech tools. We don't want to offer a lot of the free applications that have been pushed out there because we can't support our parents or our students with all of those applications if they run into trouble. We want you to use Teams, Microsoft Teams, for any adult collaboration and meetings. We want you to use Schoology conferences for live student interactions. And we want you to take it one step at a time. Have fun with this. Some of the don'ts: we don't want you using those advertised as free without asking if it's an approved product. Don't try everything all at once. You will definitely reach that cognitive overload. And don't do nothing. And as we wrap things up today, these are curriculum instruction, professional development wishes for you and your students. That may you be well. May your family members and friends be well. May you be safe. May your family members and friends be safe. May your students be well. May their family members be well. May your students be safe, and may their family members be safe. May we all be kind to ourselves during this time of distance learning, and may we be kind to all. And before I sign off for the day and answer any other questions, we want you to know that CIPD, we are here to assist you in any way necessary. We will continue to offer the webinars. Maybe you've attended a webinar and you just didn't get all the information you needed to work independently at your home. So please know that our coaches have office hours set. And guys, we're here ready to help around the clock. So even if you can't make an office hour at a time allocated, if you shoot us an email, there is somebody who will reach out to you and support you with planning and delivering your students' lessons during distance learning. And with that, we are open for any questions that people might have. And if the questions can't be answered in your forum, then your administrators can send them to CIPD, and we are happy to help out. Thanks, everyone.